Yo, this is Set with Set Media, man. I'm here to talk to you about our partner, Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest legal prediction market in the United States with over 1 million users. It's available in all 50 states. They are a real money market, people trading on what they think will happen. You can build a position and trade in and out of almost any prediction you think. Kalshi facilitates trade between people kind of like the stock market. There's no limiting your trades just because you're winning. Kalshi will pay you interest on your position. So if you make a long-term trade, you can earn a return even before the market is resolved. If you want to try out Kalshi, go ahead and give them a try, guys, at my link, kalshi.com/setmedia. Get $20 when you trade 20, so it's 20 for 20, guys. Once again, that's kalshi.com/setmedia. Go ahead and use my code setmedia to get $20 when you trade 20. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Kalshi, because like I said, it is a trading market where you can put in your prediction and you can go ahead and earn interest on that. You can make money off the knowledge that you know, and if you put $20 in, you get $20 back. So all right, guys, make sure to go check out my guy Kalshi, because you can get in on good trades like who Trump nominated as Fed chair, will Ali Khamenei be outed as the supreme leader, and will the US confirm that aliens exist before 2027. So if you want to get in on this action, once again, go ahead and go to my partners at Kalshi. Go ahead and use the link, or you can hit the QR code above and use Set Media to go ahead and get $20 when you trade 20. This is Set from Set Media, and shout out to Kalshi.
Horses here.
Yeah, and I see that as a big failure of Trump, because it should have been a whole new stable. It should have been a new generation of MAGA congressmen and senators. You know, like, where's our AOC? Well, they all got cannibalized. Madison Cawthorn got destroyed by the Republicans. Matt Gaetz got destroyed by the Republicans. Marjorie Greene got... So you had a few of them.
And
not as many as there should have been.
Gets vaporized by Susie Wiles.
Yep. Susie
By the way,
Wiles,
I confirmed 3 months ago with Flynn. He showed me the stuff. They're running opposition on hundreds of people. Flynn, myself, by the way, I told you this. They're running major opposition research on not the Democrats, but on us, because they know we're true. That's another level of this. How's that feel?
And that people have no idea, but that has always been the struggle inside the GOP. That is always how it's been, which is that the establishment is always at war with its own base. This happened with the Tea Party.
It's fratricide.
I don't even know that it's fratricide, because these people aren't even like us. You know, these people
but like, we're the real deal, and they're... What does the doppelganger always do? The thing, or the body snatcher, it kills the real thing.
Exactly. Well, it's the invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah, so they're the body snatchers. You're right. It's not fratricide. The body snatchers want to get rid of the real one.
Yeah, it's that skin suit. They take the organic mass movement, they try to mimic it as best as possible, and then they eliminate the actual movement. That was the Tea Party. I just talked to Michelle Malkin this week, and she said, you know, we ran the same playbook 20 years ago. We ran the same playbook in 2006 when we would campaign against the rhinos in favor. Yeah, I know you guys have little.
No, the crew's telling me about clips. I was listening to you. They were like, Alex, you're supposed to reveal this big White House thing, which will be the next segment. I was listening to you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so, you know, this has been a multi-generational struggle. You go back to the John Birchers and National Review. You could go back to the paleocons and the neocons, Pat Buchanan, Sam Francis, Joseph Sobran versus the neocons, Tea Party, right up through to the Trump movement. And I always sort of knew right around 2018, 2019, that the biggest gap is that Trump is not an institutionalist or an institutionalizer. He is actually not going to create the so-called movement conservatism of the Trump generation. Who's going to fill in the gaps? It's all the same people. It's all the same moneyed interests.
What you just said is beyond key. His strength is he's not institutional, but when he leaves, that's our greatest weakness, because there's nothing staying. There's nothing left there.
Exactly. And that's why it's now backsliding. You know, the personnel, there is no cadre of radical Trump supporters to fill up this White House. He still has to rely on the old guard.
Let's look at Iran in a good way, a bad way. They've got even more radicals below, so they knock out the elite. It doesn't matter. They just get stronger. With us, there's no second bench.
Well, yeah, there's no bench at all. Trump said it himself today. He said, I'm MAGA, not Tucker, not Megyn Kelly. He said, it's just me.
That was concerning.
And you go, really? So it's not Tucker. It's not Marjorie. It's not Thomas Massey. It's just you and your war with Iran and your Epstein files.
Real thinker, I've told you probably earlier, Nick,
yeah, that was a bit disturbing when Trump said MAGA is just me. And I'm just like, no, bro, MAGA is more than just you, my friend. Like, trust me, we've been having some of these ideas before you hopped onto the scene. You were just speaking them, and we were like, oh, thank God, finally somebody. But I mean, hey, you know, like I said, close the border. Hopefully he doesn't mess up the economic gains, but he did. Inflation's down still. Gas prices are still down from Biden. I'm just hoping that he just doesn't screw this all up for himself with this war with Iran.
Expect you to screw with something you say, but you're a leader, you care. I'm like, you're the future, Nick. We're counting on you. A real leader immediately recognizes younger bulls that are going to lead the people in the future. That's what a tribal leader does. With Trump, it's this ego thing where anybody else being strong is bad. And as he gets older, it's worse. It's sick.
You're right. That's like a boomer thing. That's the baby boomers, or he's 1946. This is like a baby boomer thing. They will not let us have anything. They're hoarding the wealth. They're hoarding these fiefdoms. You're right. It is an ego thing. And at the end of the day, that is really his issue. Nobody wants to admit it. It's actually brave of you to say that because that's a huge thing. A lot of people say, oh, it's his advisors. He's getting bad advice. It's his personnel. It's him.
No, I said back in March, it's him coming up, Epstein. Man. All because he loves the power of protecting all these scumbags. He's not involved. He loves the power over him. He's not even in the blackmail. He's just in general, I'll take care of it. Bullshit, you will, man. And that's my concern is how do I not go totally psychotic and go all out anti-Trump because I still want to get Republicans elected because they're better. That's a real needle.
Easy. You just got to pick the real Republicans who actually stand for conservative values, who actually stand for what MAGA stands for. We actually got to find somebody who's not going to bullshit us. And I get what Ali Jones is saying. How do I disagree with this without going full anti-Trump? And it's easy. You just disagree with Trump on this war, and that's that. Everything else, I agree with Trump on, but this war is something that I'm putting my foot down on. I'm going to say this could ruin all his progress that I do agree on. What he did with the economy, what he did with the border, he can ruin all of that with this.
The thread here, that's what I'm trying to do, Nick.
It's tough, like you said. Because we're also trying to stay out of jail. You know, we're literally between a rock and a hard place. The Democrats want to kill us and flood the country with immigrants. The Republicans want to send us to die for Israel. So you go, okay, well, it's really hard to win here.
Todd Blanche, let me tell you, to be clear. They're trying to figure out how to put several hundred of us, just confirmed insiders. They told Flynn, they're trying to put us in jail, bro. We don't have 3 years anymore. We have Todd Blanche trying to do it now.
Under what pretext?
They just like they opened a national security investigation under Obama in 2013. They got the FBI. We know because the FBI doesn't like it. As bad as they are, they're like, what is this? Like, really? They got jihadis, sleeper cells. They are literally over 200 people. They have FBI, national security dragnets going on us right now. When I said opposition research, that's just the name of it. No. The Republican Party is now looking at all of us that have any soul, and they see us as the enemy.
We got to get out of Dodge, man. I don't know what country you're dropping in at, but that's the saddest part. You know, the whole country's coming down. The GOP's coming down. It's hard to kind of figure out what that next move is. That's why, for me, I just keep my options open.
Used to head up the Army and then the Defense Intelligence. He got confirmed. He won't give me classified stuff, but they're like, sir, they got a whole opposition thing to take us down, and you're at the top. And they say it's a bunch of names. And he's like, so yeah, no, they're literally not worried about Democrats. They're going to put them in jail. They're literally worried about loyal Americans. And to the Pentagon's credit, they're like, this is bullshit. Like, I've had all these Delta Force current guys, all of them call me, thank you, we're not going to go along with this. They're all freaking out, which is the good news. They have the Pentagon, bro, tasked to spy on us as the enemy when we're the real Americans. Imagine the wake-up call in Tampa that they're like, we're not tasked for Muslims were tasked for Nick Fuentes and General Flynn and Alex Jones. I just give you that newsflash.
Yeah, well, that's the story of the admin. You know, Bill Clinton is being protected, Hillary, Obama. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's always this cope. Like, well, here's how Trump can still
That's
win.
What
Here's
I'm saying.
why
You're right, because we learned this the last 60 days. I told you this on the phone. I don't know if it got through because I talk fast. Dude, we're the focus because they know we're not sellouts. They're like, looking, we got it all. We got Trump under control. Who will block us? And they're literally getting rid of Ed Martin, creating files on us. And they're pissed because there's nothing there. What, like your most decadent action is what, getting a pizza, right? That's your big party. Exactly, me too. I don't mean that's a pedophile thing. I mean, like you're getting a steak or whatever. They literally, though, are enraged because they can't find anything on us. They won't charge the Muslims. They won't charge the Somalis stealing billions. But literally, the eye of the White House is on us because they're worried we'll influence Trump.
Yeah, no prosecutions yet.
That's how it's always been. You know, the GOP is.
And guys, you guys see me stick up for the Muslims all the time, even though you guys don't like it, but I do. But I also admit out here that we do got some radical Muslims in here that we do need to lock up, or that we do need to deport. Not deport all Muslims, but deport the Muslims that speaking craziness, that wants to try to invoke Sharia law. And we do understand that it's not most Muslims, but we got a decent amount, I would say a handful of them, that is actually talking crazy. I mean, there was this Muslim guy in America who was, I'm gonna be real with you. The man was honestly wishing that he got taken out like the Ayatollah. He was praising the Ayatollah. And I'm just like, bro, why are you in our country praising the supreme leader of Iran? I mean, bro, if that's what you want to do, go live in Iran. Don't live here. Like, of all places, like, dog, you better shut your damn mouth. Like, if anything, but and here's the thing, I'm all about freedom of religion. I love Muslims and all that good stuff, but I ain't gonna sit here and tolerate you guys honestly mourning some guy that did not stand for any of the American values that you live under. I mean, the only American value that man supported was voting, and he controlled all of that.
It's always been cannibalizing the authentic base. That's just it. And that's why I've always said the GOP is really our biggest enemy. It's not even the Democrats, because
okay, yeah, and I do got to say the same thing about Jews. Yes, Jews that come here to America trying to push us into their wars. Yeah, we don't like that either. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Jews that really try to sit there in our face and try to convince us that Israel problems is our problem, that Israel's protecting America from Hamas. Really? You're protecting us from Hamas, but you're causing more problems in the Middle East with other countries. And that's protecting us. And now you dragged us into it. So, yes, I'm going to speak on the Israelis as well. Israelis. Like, you know, I could also talk about, like, I don't really want to say all Jews because it's not all Jews, just like it's not all Muslims. But it is definitely the Israeli government and the Likud party.
At least the Democrats are the devil, you know. And you know that they're your enemy, but it's always these Republicans. They say, we're going to take the fight, hold the line, all this. And then they always turn the cannons inward and shoot at their own people. That has always been the story. So, you know, I tell my followers, take your own side. The GOP is not looking out for you. They're not fighting your enemies. They're not securing advantages
well, that's right.
for
America
you.
First in our America Survival. In fact, I'm going to start the America Survival Party. America First is great. America Only. How about America Survival?
Which is true.
We need to understand it's up to us. Nobody's coming to save us.
And that's what people got to get through their heads is it's not going to be a top-down thing. It's going to be incumbent on all of us to get involved, getting involved in government, getting involved in the universities and the private sector, because obviously we tried it with Trump. People say you're not going to vote your way out of this. Surely we're not going to solve it just by electing the right president and expecting everything to flow from the top down. It doesn't work that way. So I agree with you completely. It's a shame because we had an opportunity here. Like you said, we really had a major opportunity. Trump won the popular vote, for crying out loud, on a platform of mass deportations and everything. Mm-hmm. And what it has secured is a corporate tax cut.
We got a couple other things that just came out. Let's see. And I knew it. Yeah, I mean, Iran still striking Gulf nations despite apology. And Tehran is in black rain, as I showed you guys. I mean, well, let me see if I can show you guys a bit more of what's going on there, because it is pretty crazy. I mean, you can't tell the difference between day and night because, well, the oil clouds have set in. I mean, the sun ain't shining through, which is wild to say, by the way. Well, very wild. All right, can't find the video right there, but F it. We'll just move on to the next one.
Report a new wave of strikes after the Iranian president apologized. Kuwait says it's fending off drone and missile attacks that set fire to a fuel storage facility as well as a high-rise government building. Bahrain's Interior Ministry says falling missile fragments wounded 3 people and damaged a university building. We're also getting reports of attacks in Saudi Arabia and the UAE, where a Pakistani national was killed by missile debris, according to Pakistan's embassy. We're following this story from all across the Middle East. Paula Hancock is live for us from Dubai. Paula, just a bit over 24 hours ago, Iran's president said Tehran would stop targeting Gulf nations, yet Iranian missiles and drones continue striking across the region. What are officials there saying about this escalating threat?
Well, Linda, we have been seeing here in the UAE for a couple of hours ago, there were emergency alerts and interception overhead. 3 hours ago in Abu Dhabi, a similar situation. And what we have seen on Saturday night was one more person being killed here in the UAE, someone who was in a car and was hit by debris from one of the interceptions. We did hear a number of interceptions on Saturday night in both cities. So certainly what we are seeing on the ground since that statement by the Iranian president does not mirror what he said at all. And now it could suggest that the president does not have control over those people who are firing the missiles and the drones, that the president does not speak for the IRGC. This is something we know to be a fact. He did say that was a decision from the 3-member leadership council. But clearly this message is not either trickling down or it is simply not a message that they endorse. We have heard other statements saying that US military targets across the Gulf region are still very much targets. But of course, we're seeing across the Gulf, it's far more than just military that is being targeted at this point. Now, we did also see a very rare appearance from the UAE leader, Mohammed bin Zayed, as he was visiting some of those in the UAE who have been injured in Iran's retaliation. And he called Iran, referred to Iran as the enemy. Now, this is a remarkable statement from the UAE leader, also saying that Iran should not see the response from the UAE as weakness. The UAE is strong. We're hearing from leaders across the Gulf that they reserve the right for retaliation. They're obviously not being public about what that might look like or whether there have been any change to their situations on the ground, certainly not wanting to make themselves even more of a target for Iran. But quite frankly, the UAE has been targeted more than any other country in the Gulf nation, potentially more than Israel itself when it comes to this retaliation. We've also heard that the Qatari leader has spoken to the US president, and he has said that the ongoing escalation could have, quote, dangerous repercussions for the world, pushing the message that it is important to try and intensify diplomacy. This is a message we've been hearing from the Gulf nations as well. Certainly publicly, it doesn't appear to be a message that the US is ready to hear.
Hey, yo, and shout out to my man Castro. He just said, for the stream. Hey, my man. He said, I ain't got too much to say before the stream. I mean, you got to respect or support like that, guys. You really do.
It may be a different message that Gulf nations are getting behind the scenes. Linda?
All right, Paula Hancock's first in Dubai. Stay safe and thanks very much. CNN is the first U.S. network to start reporting from the ground inside Iran since the conflict began. We're operating there with only government permission. Our senior international correspondent, Fred Blackton, and producer Claudia Otto filed this report a short time ago on the black rain that's falling in the capital following airstrikes and fires at Iran's fuel storage areas.
This is what Tehran is waking up to this morning. The sky above the city is covered in very thick black clouds. You can see that everywhere. That's the west of the city over there. and this is the north of the city. Normally, if you look to that direction, you could actually see the Alborz Mountains, but now all of that is also covered in clouds. That comes after major airstrikes in the south and the west of the city happened last night, where oil installations were hit, oil storage facilities. Apparently also a refinery might have been hit as well. And now you can see this morning that the sky is still very dark. We saw thick black plumes of smoke in the sky yesterday. There were massive fires in the south of the city. But I want to show you something else because it's also raining. But you can see that the rain water is actually black, also saturated, it appears, with oil. And then if we look over there, you can see that the water that's running down here also is black. So that's what's coming down this morning, this sort of oil-filled rain that we have right now on the Iranian capital after those strikes took place.
Israel and the US are ramping up pressure on Tehran as the war enters its second week. Israel's military says a new wave of strikes is now underway, targeting military sites across Iran. We're learning that Israel's Air Force hit a number of Iran's F-14 fighter jets at the Isfahan airport. A source telling CNN that Israel is also hitting energy resources in the country. Video shows a massive fire burning near a fuel storage facility in Tehran. We've also seen flames and smoke rising from an oil refinery in the capital. US President Trump is threatening to escalate the attacks, and he's not ruling out the possibility of US boots on the ground.
What are the circumstances where you'd send in ground troops? How are you thinking about that?
I don't even want to talk about it now. I don't think it's an appropriate question. You know, I'm not going to answer it. Could there be? Possibly, for very good reason. Have to be very good reason. And I would say if we ever did that, they would be so decimated that they wouldn't be able to fight at the ground level.
I want to go to Oren Lieberman, who joins us from Tel Aviv. Oren, Israel says it will keep hitting Iran with all its might, and it has launched another broad-scale round of strikes inside Iran. What can you tell us about the targets in this latest wave?
Among the target list that Israel is now striking are oil refineries and fuel storage facilities, according to the Israeli military. As an Israeli source tells us, this is part of what Israel's military chief, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, had hinted to a few days ago. The next phase of Israeli operations against Iran, Israeli strikes on Iran, and this, of course, being done in conjunction with the United States. It seems that over the course of the first week and a couple days of the war here, Israel went after the Iranian regime itself and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, its intelligence arm, its military arm, even its military university, as well as its military assets, to strike at the centers of power. Now, as we watch the second phase here, or rather the next phase unfold, it seems Israel is going after the economic and financial arms of the Iranian regime. And that's why likely we're seeing strikes against the refineries and the fuel storage facilities that have left the skies over Tehran and Iran aflame with smoke pouring into the sky from the fires and the explosions at these refineries. So this, on day 9 here, seems like what we're seeing play out as Israel and the United States go after more parts of the Iranian regime and what helps to support it, as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made clear last night when he gave a pre-recorded statement that the goal here is to destabilize the regime. He even tried to speak to the Iranian people, saying, your time to rise up is coming. And I'm paraphrasing there, but that also hints at another problem here. Where is this going? And if the goal is regime change, and I think that's quite clear by this point, what is the plan to change the regime? So far, all we've heard from Israel is the expectation that at some point the Iranian people will finish the job that Israel and the U.S.
All right, F it. I mean, we're only $2 away, so I'll go ahead and I'll open it. I'll go ahead and I'll open the call in. So yes, now you can go ahead and go to the home page, go to the post tab, and you can hit the call in. Well, the StreamYard link, and I'll go ahead and have you up, just like my man, Gaming. Gaming, how you doing, brother?
What's the word, my man? What's the word? I'm sorry,
a lot's going on, man. A lot's going on. Now, I know some of this you're going to disagree with me on, but it does seem like we may be getting into a more drawn-out conflict with Iran. But I'm actually hoping that this ends by the end of the month.
Oh, I can tell you just from having been previously deployed over there, it's as soon as we got involved, I already knew in the back of my mind. This was not going to be some quick and easy thing because there's a whole lot of dynamic that goes on over there.
Damon,
And
I didn't want to hear that, but okay, but keep going, brother.
so you have to realize something, and I'm going to talk about shipping a lot because that's kind of the facet that I played when I was over there in the role. Now, this is my bread and butter in particular.
I'll
And
give
so
it to
when
you.
you have a regime who is next to one of the some of the key players in the world shipping and trade that is playing fast and loose with the safety and security of said world trade, everybody gets involved, whether they want to or not, because it affects things. And the U.S. is making some posturing moves as though we could be stepping up to be the world security guarantor for shipping. So what this looks like is, I don't know if you've seen
we
it.
said that we'll start escorting ships and providing insurance.
Yeah, escorting ships and providing insurance, when originally that was Britain's whole bread and butter. I don't know if people really know this or not, but the United States was really just more or less the police over there, just to make sure there wasn't any piracy or terroristic actions. What the real thing that the real guarantor of security was Britain. And now that Britain has basically threatened to leave as a way to try to get us to blink first, we're like, okay, that's fine. Our GDP is way larger than yours. We have a more massive fleet, and we can rotate ships in and out to produce the security factor that the Middle East definitely needs.
The only problem is it doesn't seem like a lot of these guys are taking it. Like, it's offered, but it doesn't seem like they're taking it.
Well, this is what happens when you mix politics with finances. People are slow to drag their feet, and people are slow to drag their feet, and then two, they're always looking to see where they can save money. And so if the United States offers a cheaper insurance policy on merchant ships versus Britain, then yeah, they'll end up going with it. I mean, this is one of those things as far as the shipping lanes are concerned. You have to look at the insurance world. And yes, I know we don't really want to do that, but
I know I do. Trust me, I'm looking into it, and it's
I'm
just
saying,
we all
like
know insurance is like the biggest scam ever. So wouldn't it would be crazy as hell if we're escorting them, they get hit, and now we're gonna go take them to court, going like, well, you could have done some things to prevent this, so we don't really want to give you their insurance claim.
Facts. And what's really going to prolong this, and I keep bringing mine warfare up, not because that was my job in the Navy, but because it's a huge risk. That's why a lot of tankers aren't moving. People need to realize that there was a ship that got blown up taken out by a torpedo that was Iranian in the Indian Sea and Indian Ocean. And to put that in perspective, that's like going from Maine all the way down to off the coast of Brazil in terms of distance travel. And so I know it's not going to mean anything, but I'm going to tie it together. For an Iranian ship to be blown up in the Indian Ocean means that the Iranian vessels need to have extensive, long duration navigation capability. And they are known for carrying unmanned bombing drones and mines and torpedoes and hunter killer equipment, stuff like that. And so the main fear that are flowing through some of the channels that I've been hearing is that they're worried that Iran's going to start dropping stuff into the water, not just your conventional mines that are used for regular warfare, like your standardized warfare mine devices, but also your improvised submersible devices. So like barrels of oil. I've actually seen one of these in person in real life. They'll fill barrels with C4 or TNT or tannerite or some type of explosive, high yield explosive, and they'll fill it like 75% of the way, and then put like a really buoyant gas in there, like hydrogen or something, and then they'll just go around dropping that crap into the water, so it floats on the surface. And if you guys don't realize how fast ships are moving, 15 knots, that's like 20 miles an hour on land.
But all right, let me just stop you right there. Let me stop you right there because I do want to get your opinion on the next one right now. So let's go ahead and listen along to this one.
All right, wait. While you do that, I'm gonna go in the house and switch over to my desktop.
All right, perfect.
In northern Iraq, where that camp is located, I said there are many layers to this story, but you're going to lay it out for us. First, what was attacked, and then we'll get into the relevance for both the U.S. and Iran of Iranian Kurdish groups that are currently hiding in Iraq. But first, Asad, tell us what was attacked today.
Well, I can tell you what.
Oh, and appreciate you, Tove. I may not agree with you. I may not agree with you on everything said, but I still love you. And I appreciate that, Tove. I really do. So shout out, Tove. Because trust me, I can disagree with anybody as long as you keep it respectful. As long as you keep it respectful and you're not too butthurt. Trust me, I can disagree with anybody.
It's been attacked in the last few minutes, just moments ago.
And we'll still be the best of buzz, still be the best of friends.
A few minutes ago, we heard two loud explosions. Now, we understand a hotel, the courtyard of a hotel was hit by a suspected drone. We believe it was intercepted and it crashed. And there's footage of smoke rising near that hotel. Now, that comes not long after the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has warned its citizens that Iranian-aligned groups are planning to attack hotels frequented by foreigners and asking them to leave immediately. And those that decide to stay in Iraq should look for alternative lodging options. So that's happened in the last few minutes. Elsewhere in Iraq, we understand there were airstrikes targeting the Jurf al-Sakhr area, where the headquarters of the Popular Mobilization Forces, this is a group that's aligned with Iran, is based. Now, we hear that that base was empty and there's been no casualties. At the same time, two Katyusha rockets targeting Iraq's Taji military base, where it's believed that U.S. troops are based there also. Again, this to and fro taking place with Iranian-backed groups here in Iraq targeting U.S. facilities. We know that Erbil airport has been targeted. We understand the consulate has also been targeted, and the interceptors have tried to stop those drones and missiles. But at the same time, there is talk of Iranian Kurdish groups mounting a possible ground operation inside of Iran.
I said I'm jumping in for this because this is an important aspect. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to make sure our viewers understand this. Can you please explain to our viewers who are not familiar with the region what it is exactly that we're talking about? What are Iranian Kurdish groups? I know you've spoken to some of them. Why are they relevant to this, both on the U.S. side and on the Iran side?
Because we want to fund them to try to destabilize Iran or, well, push the Ayatollah out of power. What do you think, Gaming? Or you probably ain't.
It'll be a little of both.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, you'd be dishonest if you thought it was just one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. And we're trying to help them establish this whole thing called Kurdistan.
Kurdistan has previously existed, but through conquest and just historical history,
it got broken into many pieces, and to establish it, you have to take land out of like multiple different Arab countries.
We're not just talking about Iran either. We're talking about Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria, Iraq, like those areas. And not a lot of countries are willing to give up land that they've developed and claimed that it is theirs.
Exactly.
Well, in northern Iraq, borders Iran, you have the Iraqi Kurdistan. Okay, this is a semi-autonomous region. It has relative stability and peace. But for a long time, there have been groups that are Iranian Kurds. Okay, and they are opposed to the Islamic Republic of Iran, and some of them are based here in Iraq. Now, there's been talk about them possibly getting support from the United States and mounting a ground operation into Iran. Now, Iran has warned the Kurdish authorities here that if any group based in the territory here mounts a ground operation, then not only US assets will become a target, but everything here in Iraqi Kurdistan will become a target. But at the same time, Iran has been targeting the camps of those groups here in northern Iraq, as well as Iraqi armed groups aligned with Iran have also been targeting them with drones and missiles. So we've visited some of those camps. Now, so far, from those groups, those Iranian Kurdish groups, there's been a 6-party alliance. Now, we visited the camps of one of those that was targeted yesterday, but we also spoke to one of the leaders of one of those parties and started off by asking him if his fighters had mounted a ground operation or are planning to. Just directly, are your fighters already mounting a ground operation against Iran?
At this moment, no. We are not currently engaged in any offensive operations. We have been planning for a long time, and now that conditions are more favorable, there is a strong probability of action. We have yet to reach a decisive decision, but it is highly likely we will move forward with a ground operation. The Americans have contacted us through various channels, but until now we have not met directly, but they contacted us. They asked what we should do with this regime, what are the ways, and talking if we can cooperate together in the future. Only in that context. There has been no direct communication until now, but through intermediaries, through other Kurdish people. When the time comes and we meet with them, it becomes clear in the operational field. Of course, in the operational field, we need weaponry, explosives, and also advanced equipment. As you know, the equipment we have is basic and old. Today's wars are more advanced than before. So if there was something like this, we have this request.
All right. Well, I mean, it looks like they seem like they're ready to go ahead with it. They're getting the support from the USA, so they're feeling comfortable about it. That's what I'm hearing. It's like we're down with it, we're feeling comfortable with it, and we're ready to take off at any moment. Just give the okay. Let's see how that goes for them.
For the rich, a war for Israel, Epstein cover-up.
And I'm gonna be real with you, like the people who they're in contact with is our CIA. Our CIA admitted it. They're most like the ones arming them, funding them. And dude, look, a lot of people are casting a lot of doubt on this, saying that if you send the Kurds in, we're basically just sending them into their death. But you never know. This could work out. Now, I'm also of the mindset that it's very unlikely, but we'll see.
I mean, you got to realize other countries are strong too. So people saying that, oh, we're just sending other countries to the meat grinder, that's not true. We rarely see the Kurds get involved in anything. So for them to get involved in this means that they're more than ready and capable of getting things done. But do you think
the Kurds are a powerful enough force to take on Iran?
Well, they've observed Iran enough to know how their games operate. They've been watching quietly from the shadows for like 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
But terrain and all that, like, watching and in action is two different things.
Oh no, I'm sure they've been doing their own form of intelligence gathering and mapping and all that stuff, just like we planned. From what I understand, we were planning this since before Maduro. In fact, from what I understand, Maduro was kind of a test run for some of the stuff that we are currently doing in Iran.
I say my only concern is that terrain that they pride themselves so much on. Yeah, that's going to be one of the main problems.
Well, you got to remember, let me give you, this isn't me gawking on the U.S. Military. I'm only saying it because I was a part of it. We already know what their terrain looks like. We know all the entry points, the exit points, where they're going to egress to, their bases, their layout. We regularly send them photographs of airplanes leaving their airports to come spy on us. And we know everywhere pretty much their military operates. If it was really that much of a concern, then there would be more planning and execution. But we already have at least on the books 8 different ways we could take out Tehran.
All right.
And one thing, oh crap! Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, were you about to say anything?
Gamer got me. there was something else I was gonna say, and then Gamer said what he said, and it just completely just flew out of my mind. So
you're good.
Never mind.
You go, okay, so what are we doing here? What does it profit us actually to even participate in the charade?
Oh,
so
I don't mean to cut the video
revolutionary.
off. I do got a question. Where in the world is this is an Israeli war coming from?
Oh, because wait, did you not hear what Rubio said?
No,
he said the only reason why we struck. He said the reason why we got involved in Iran is because Israel said that they were going to strike Iran, and that was going to set off Iran attacking our military bases in Israel and like pretty much almost everybody in the region. So we all knew that if anybody strikes Iran, that they were going to go off. And for some reason, Israel thought it was a good idea to just say, "Oh, this is our time to drag everybody into it," and they told us that they were going to attack them.
So we're just going to forget about.
I remembered what.
Oh, sorry, go Tove.
No, I remember what I was gonna say. It was back on the other point. I was gonna say, and I wouldn't be surprised if at least someone from our military was sent over and wasn't helping train the Kurds for a while now, at least for a few years. Yeah. So they've been getting trained I can almost guarantee you they've been getting trained for at least a few years by our own government.
All right, well, let's see how this works, because I like it. I like that we're talking them up a little bit. So let's see if this actually works out for us. But what were you about to say, Gaming?
Oh, I was going to say, like, it sounds like it was a powder keg to begin with, because Iran has been ready to strike everybody in the Middle East since we bombed their nuclear facilities.
Yeah,
it's been a powder keg for years.
Think about it like this. If these guys tell us, hey, yo, if y'all hit us, we're going to strike everybody. I mean, and then Israel comes along. And here's if it was us, I feel a little bit better. I still wouldn't like it, but I feel a little bit better if we were the ones striking them for our own reason instead of Israel dragging us into this. Because the only reason we had to follow up, because if we didn't, they were going to attack our bases and we weren't going to be able to defend them in time. And it'd have been maximum damage.
And you're wrong on that one.
Bro, we had to follow up and strike too, because now we already got our planes in the area for any type of retaliation.
I can tell you for a fact that we have. I can't say how.
Now, bro, were we able to protect all of our assets in the Middle East?
Actually, yes.
No, we weren't, bro. There's multiple strikes on American bases. That's how the 6 people died. It's because we couldn't protect our assets in the Middle East.
You're confusing saturation for quality. If you saturate any system, it's gonna fail at a certain point. It's called system saturation for a reason.
But we get that. That's what they're doing, and they're getting through the system. We have not been able to protect our assets in the Middle East because they have been struck.
So check this out. All of those defense systems that we have over there, we've had over there before the Abraham Lincoln. Also, we have a whole bunch of naval ships and assets that are regularly stationed there that can do intercept missions.
Well, that's the thing. We see them trying to intercept it. But Iran has been able to get through and hit our assets in the region.
I know, because it's a high saturation. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Okay, well, then this is the thing, though. Like, that's what's kind of confusing, because you're saying, well, we were, but
no, I'm saying, like, in terms of like hitting our assets, everything would have been evacuated before then. Again, I can't say how I know this, but it was already in Comnat 5th Fleet's plan, as well as every other fifth.
So it was already in their plan to evacuate, but we were able to catch soldiers in a trailer and blow them up. And well, not us, but Iran was able to catch U.S. men in a trailer and blow them up.
That trailer was predominantly a missile defense trailer. So there are certain things that are left. There are certain people that are left behind intentionally to keep certain systems operational, but the vast majority of people that did not apply to were actually evacuated. Like all the Navy warships and stuff that didn't need to be docked, all of those were already out on the water hours beforehand.
Yeah, like that's great and all, but bro,
like all the planes and stuff, those were already moved.
Like CIA buildings were hit. Like,
Yeah,
bruh.
yeah, because they're not. So the way that critical defense works is you're not really concerned about the buildings or where each headquarters is located. You're actually concerned about the critical infrastructure that might get hit. There's a reason why Bahrain got hit and nobody really batted an eyelash, because where they hit isn't critical. That much is the most I can say at all.
So basically, okay, so they are able to hit our assets, just not the ones we care about.
This is gonna sound crazy, but yes.
Okay, well, at least you stood 10 toes on that one. Shout out.
Change or nothing at all. And I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people think that's extreme, and they remind me, yeah, well, if the Democrats get in, then this, that, and the other. I'm interested in either we get the change or we don't. But if the Republicans are
compromise
marginally
has gotten us here.
Right.
And I respect your stuff is, super accurate. So I respect accuracy. We should still try to think of leverage points, because Trump did shut up when he kept saying vaccines are great with Bill O'Reilly and stuff until a few years ago. And he finally shut up and brought in Kennedy. They've done some good. He never admits guilt, but sometimes he'll back off. I think we shouldn't give up yet. How do we put pressure on Trump to pull out of this insanity? Because we got to try, even if it's impossible.
I mean, the most you could do is express your dissatisfaction. I don't know that there's going to be a 1 million man march anytime soon. Honestly, I think the war is actually, they say it's not.
But hold on, let's get over to our guys at CNN. Just came out with a video.
What's going on in Iran? With us now, CNN Chief.
All right.
I want to take a closer look at what the American public is thinking about what's going on in Iran. With us now, CNN Chief Data Analyst Harry Etten. Harry, what are you seeing?
Yes, John. Look, we've gotten a bunch of polling back since the U.S. military started its most recent action against Iran. And you know what? It's a bit of a confusing picture. It doesn't seem like one at first, but it's a bit of a confusing polling picture. Let's just take a look right now at the overall average of polls. Okay, view of U.S. military action in Iran. And you take an average of CNN, Fox, Ipsos, and NBC polls. What you see here is you see that the clear majority of Americans disapprove of the action. We're talking about 51% of Americans disapprove, just 40% approve. And I should note all these polls came in between February 28th. They started on February 28th and then ended by March 3. Now, you see this. You see this 11-point split. But this actually hides some major disagreements between the different polls. Why?
There we go. But yeah, this is an average of CNN, Fox, IPSOS, and NBC polls. And you know what? Honestly, I was expecting more of a disparity between them. But this is decently close. I don't like it, but these are the numbers.
Well, that's because you got some people that are on the fence about it, and then you have other people that you have three groups: people that are in support, people that are against, and then people that are on the fence about it. And I think when you ask the serious questions, you get a different answer. And I think they were trying to be more honest, which is more reflective of how we feel.
And to your sitting on the fence comment, now that's actually a pretty good honestly, that's a pretty good point, because if they're sitting on the fence, basically they might be waiting like what happens next, how long this lasts before they go to, well, I approve or I disapprove.
And I'd wager that you do have some people that are on the left who are for it because they need the job to be taken care of. I think there are some people on the left who genuinely don't care if the United States needs to go to war to get some peace in the world. But I think where a lot of people are getting turned off, left and right, is being there when we don't have to be there, being there prolonged. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why it's that close. I think if we weren't only there for as long as we needed to be, and then we just got out immediately after that, those numbers will look a bit more on the approval side. But if we ended up staying there longer than we had to, then it's going to be the inverse.
Yeah.
Take a look here. Okay, this is the net approval rating. That's the approval rating minus the disapproval rating. And this is the net approval rating for U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. CNN, our own CNN poll, shows that the net approval rating is minus 18 points. Very similar to the Ipsos polling at minus 16 points. But then all of a sudden you see the NBC News polling, and look at this. You see it at minus 11 points, getting a little bit more popular. And then you'll look at the latest Fox News poll, and that's a split, a dead even split at 0 points. So yes, on average, the polling is showing that the move is unpopular, but that actually hides major disagreements between the polling. And I should note the polling questions pretty similar and all conducted at about the same time. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Good. So veterans living on the street with thousands of other homeless, prices of house and cost of living through the roof, but let's help another country have better lives. Never mind the Americans. I will support that comment when it isn't made as a matter-of-factly comment, because people love to, and this is why I say keep veterans out of y'all mouths, because y'all don't care about them any other time. Whenever it's like a politician doing something that y'all don't approve of, it's always, but the veterans, but the homeless, but they're never on your mind any other time. No one ever.
My bad, but depending on what a veteran says, we pick and choose to care, and that's what I don't like.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, no one ever thinks about the veteran or the homeless when we're like, yeah, we could be in schools as armed SROs to like pull security so school shootings don't happen. No one cares then. No one cares that homeless shelters get burnt to ashes every time the left side decides to have a riot. No one cares that every time there's a huge protest or some huge public outcry, homeless are literally kicked aside, stepped over, or the first ones targeted. So don't use homeless and veterans as a crutch to like prove your point when you don't care in general to begin with.
But I don't know. D. Michaels, I believe honestly, a lot of people actually care about veterans. I mean, but here's the thing, and I get what, and you're right. Like, I do like, he is making a good point, but if he's using it as a, well, look what's happening now, or, well, look what we'd rather be focusing on, I guess I can see where that kind of takes you off. But at the end of the day, he ain't lying. He's not lying.
But there's another reason why, John, you should take these initial numbers with a grain of salt, because I want to go back to the June airstrikes, right? Net approval rating, U.S. military action in Iran after the June airstrikes. Initially in late June, look at this.
Hey, good person.
Underwater at minus 8 points. But by July, look at that. After the military option was deemed successful, it became much more popular. Now, we're just going to have to wait and see with this current military action in Iran, how exactly the polling shifts. But right now, I would really take the numbers with a grain of salt, keeping in mind that there's big polling disagreement and the numbers may change down the road. John, back to you.
Yeah, the numbers change with every action taken. With every day longer we stay here, the numbers are changing. There's people who want us to be out in 2 weeks, and if we ain't out within those 2 weeks, they're going to be on the other side. All right. There's people, like I said, if it takes a whole month, they're going to be on the other side. But if it gets ended in 2 weeks or within a month, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to approve of the war. And I mean, that's just fine. I mean, I may not have approved of it, but I'm going to be happy as hell if it ends in 2 weeks or a month. I'll be that guy.
Harry, thank you very much for that. Yes, polling does often track what people think is a successful or not successful operation.
One of the more interesting splits that we're seeing in the polling when it comes to the U.S. military action in Iran is that between the overall public and those who are either currently or have served in the military. Take a look at this Fox News poll that came out during the past week. Net approval rating of the current U.S. military action against Iran. Look at that. Overall, Fox News shows a dead even split. But look at those who served in the military. Significantly higher support for the U.S. military action currently going on in Iran at plus 20 points. That should not be so much of a surprise, because take a look at how they view Trump's foreign policy overall. Now, again, look at those.
Hold on, I'll let you speak to that one.
So now, is that really a surprise? I mean, even look at what I've been saying.
I mean, look, when I hear from other servicemen, when they say, yeah, bro, but all the stuff that went down there, it ain't worth it and all this good stuff. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah.
Well, but then again, we got some hardliners on the right who's okay with it.
Well, it's not really a left versus right. It's about a security issue.
No,
Now,
no,
some
I know. I
people-
get what you're saying. Like, wait, a security issue. No, wait, hold on. My bad. Now I don't get what you're saying. Keep going.
So the security issue has to do with shipping, and it's mostly a preventative maintenance type of thing because we're kind of trained on that. And so it's better to like nip a problem in the bud rather than allow it to fester and become worse later on down the line. And so you'll find that there is a large swath of Americans that are in the service that rather just get this military operation done and over with so we don't have to deal with it later rather than have to fight a larger war just because we put the problem off down the road. Now,
Man.
I can tell you, and I'm saying this on live, I want to say 5 points out of that 20 points is just people that want to kill.
Damn. Hey, you a real one. I ain't gonna lie, you're a real one
Like,
for that one. At least
we just gonna call it what it is, bro. There are some people that sign up why you join the military. Doesn't matter what branch. Why you join the military? I want to kill some people.
Woo.
You need to be on a psych. Bro's like on diabolical time. Like this one dude, he's dead. He for real said, I signed up for the military so I can get a big gun and kill somebody else with it. All right. Bro, how did they let you in? So yes, 5 points of those 20 points are people that are, if they were in a normal setting, they would be deemed a serial killer.
Yeah. Well, thank God we got them out there. And I always did say maybe we do need to take our serial killers and put them on the front line. You know,
let them live out their fantasies.
Exactly. They'll be right at home.
Who served in the U.S. military versus overall. If you look at Trump's foreign policy overall, the net approval rating on that per Fox News, those who served in the military, they like what's going on average. Look at that. The net approval rating plus 8 points for Trump's foreign policy. But look at those overall. Way, way down there at minus 20 points. We're talking about a nearly 30-point gap between those who served in the military and overall. And this split, when it comes to those who served in the military and overall, dates back to Trump's elections, all the way back to 2016. But let's look at the 2024 numbers. Look at this. 2024 results. Those who served in the military, Trump won them by, get this, 31 points. Kamala Harris actually won all other voters by 2 points. And that means, Johnny Berman, that means that Donald Trump only won in 2024 because of support from those who served in the military.
Whatever happened to Trump when he ran on the campaign trail said that, you know, the whole MAGA thing, remember that? Yeah. Make America Great Again? It wasn't really supposed to be going after country after country after country. I don't recall hearing that much on the campaign trail, but just look at the numbers.
Well, actually, I'm gonna be real with you. I was cool with him going after country after country, long as he was going after these already weakened, couldn't even fight us back if they wanted to, Latin America and South American countries. And if we're just removing Chinese and Russian influence out of there, I had no problem with that. But as soon as we go over to Iran over there, where we don't get too much perks out of it, that's where I have a problem. And plus, he said we weren't going to go over there and do that BS. I'd rather keep things in our hemisphere. That's just me, though.
Targets military actions in Trump's second term. There was, of course, Venezuela, Nigeria, Somalia.
Okay, yeah, there's Venezuela, Ecuador. Now, gaming, do you remember when we hit Ecuador? Because I know it was this week, right? We hit Ecuador for the cartel, though. I know we hit them for the cartel. Not like trying to cause regime change in Ecuador. Unless the cartel runs Ecuador, then I guess we are.
Majority of South America is actually ran by Ecuador. Not Ecuador, the cartel. I got those two.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Majority of
that
them.
is
Like if you look at it, like Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, some like half of Chile.
Yeah.
Uruguay is like one of the very few countries where the government still has a decent grip on power.
All right.
I mean, the list goes on. And now Cuba.
Yeah, he ran as an isolationist. He is the opposite of that. And that's actually why I think he's getting a lot of support.
No way they're trying to